a lot of people are taking a second look at Titanic and say, you know what, Leo was actually the dick in the movie, and you were the good guy.
Yeah, it's like the Karate Kid effect.
Yeah, it's just like, this
exactly.
guy spent the whole trip trying to steal your lady, and all you want to do is be a provider.
You know, there was room on that door for 3 of us. And,
Well, we are back. It is The Woody Show.
Hey-o.
And very rarely, as you know, do we have an in-studio guest, but we do have an in-studio guest today. And a couple different reasons I thought this can be very interesting. Number one, you've seen this person in a lot of different films.
Tons of stuff.
Yeah, just a ton of stuff. I mean, where to even begin is one of the first questions I'd ask myself. But I'll get right to it and tell you who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Billy Zane. Hi, Billy.
Thank you. Hi.
Who's making us look like a homeless person.
Oh, my
I
God.
know.
We
I know.
collectively
Well
look like garbage.
I dress for radio, right? I don't know.
Wait do you see the video
Yeah.
that we'll post? You'll see, I mean, he's dressed all GQ.
Oh.
Nobody's ever been dressed better in this room.
No,
ever.
never.
In the history of time.
Yeah, we've said it forever. You can tell me if you agree or disagree with this statement. I've said we are the ugliest show on the radio. I've been saying that for decades. We look how people with food poisoning feel. So as a pretty person, like what is it like walking?
Yeah.
Do you feel even better about yourself walking into a room like this?
What's it like being in the bubble?
Yeah.
I recommend hitting the commissary. One of your sales team was trying to give me some Silogit, which is I think some body hacking coffee alternative. Seriously, you want to? It's right outside your door.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Yeah.
you've got.
Yeah.
You know, and you're very close to Whole Foods. It's just an elevator away. I don't know. I think I can put a program together for you.
Yeah, probably can.
Very quickly.
Well, Billy Zane is here, and there's a new movie that Billy's in. It's actually it's out today. It's called Waltzing with Brando.
Marlon Brando.
Yeah, and we're going to get into all that because it's a fascinating story. But what's interesting is that, okay, my number one movie of all time, people talk about, I'm sure, Titanic and all these other movies that you've been in. My number one movie of all time is Back to the Future, the original. And, it wasn't until I started looking into you and this project and everything else that I had no idea that you were in Back to the Future. Dude, that was your first actual movie? Like your first real movie role?
Baptism by fire.
Baptism.
Wow.
What a movie to have as your first, you know what I mean?
But wasn't
Iconic.
that shortly after you even delved into acting, you got that job?
I was here. Well, I started on, I guess, the school play or
Sure.
camp, if you want to go in the Wayback Machine to 10
Sure.
in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. But I arrived 2 weeks prior to bagging that,
And then
got
insane.
a do-over. Don't forget that.
I
Oh,
mean,
that
that's
was
what I
my
was gonna
question.
ask.
Yeah,
like,
you're the
did
only
you-
one we know that
Yeah.
actually.
Come on, Menace, jump in on
Yeah,
this.
well,
You know
I
the
want to
thing.
see, did you have to reshoot scenes because infamously they replaced
Eric
It was
Stoltz.
supposed to be Eric Stoltz, then they
Yeah.
replaced him with Michael J. Fox.
Yeah, so did you do a lot of scenes?
The whole
with
the
Stoltz?
whole film,
Whoa!
our whole portion.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Wow.
And it was kind of cool to be able to get to work with the great Eric Stoltz, which
Right.
I had the privilege of doing some years later on Memphis Belle, World War II movie with everybody, and it was cool, to be familiar with the process and the Hollywood experience.
Right.
But
Yeah.
were you scared? Like, oh, this movie's not coming out.
No, man, I was scared. It was like, you took a pill called, a vitamin named Hollywood.
Yeah.
We were on Backlot Universal. The best part was
Yeah.
was when not working and watching how the hell they forged the state of the art of the tech, but actually being able to go and terrorize the tour buses
Oh,
and the
so
Backlot
great.
and go to
That's
hang
yeah.
out in Amity.
Yeah.
Look at the shark like
John.
70
Right.
times, jump out of the water. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've always said, even this is this stupid career. Man, the most exciting thing, we've done a lot of really cool things, but the most exciting part of, thinking back on this whole thing was that very beginning when everything was brand new and, you hadn't done this a billion times. And then for that end to being, such an iconic movie, it's pretty cool. To look back and, oh, dude, my first job.
Yeah, right.
what
Yeah.
was your origin story, Woody?
I started as an intern and just kind of worked my way up from there, and then moved about 1 billion times. But in the days when you didn't have any money and I didn't have a car, and so you're walking, catching a train to catch a bus to get to the station to get there 4 hours ahead of time because that was the earliest you'd be able to, or the closest you'd be able to get there and be on time for your stuff. looking back, you're like, man, that would have sucked. But no, I was so excited.
And you wanted to.
It was fun.
And it
were in the
informed
mix.
everything. You wouldn't be here if you didn't.
Yes,
do that,
yeah,
right?
exactly right. So Billy Zane is here. What project of all the things that people say, oh, dude, what do they ask you about the most? What do you hear the most about?
I get a lot of love for Tales from the Crypt Demon Night.
Nice.
Which is spending its 30th anniversary this year. It's crazy.
And my favorite line from Zoolander, listen to your friend Billy Zane.
Thank you, Owen Wilson. Can you do it like Owen?
Oh, God, I wish.
It's kind of up here.
Listen to your
Listen
friend,
to your
Billy
friend
Zane.
Billy Zane.
But yeah, also like we mentioned Titanic, another just iconic,
course.
iconic film. So man, you've
Evil.
had a what do you think has been the most fun?
Fun?
Yeah, the most as far as
The
filming.
Phantom was my favorite character. That was
Yeah.
90s superhero analog, no superpowers, just superhumane,
Yeah.
kind of cool, like happy Batman.
Uh-huh.
Basically, he's no issues, no trauma. But I love that character because of the moral compass and the white hat hero, and it was something that I felt was needed and still is.
Yeah.
But Demon Night was probably the most fun because they really gave me a lot of rein to improvise and play and make the character a lot funnier. If you haven't seen it, I recommend a revisit. It's like a starter drug for horror.
Yeah.
horror comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about revisit. A lot of people are taking a second look at Titanic and say, you know what, Leo was actually the dick in the movie, and you were the good guy.
Yeah, it's like the Karate Kid effect.
Yeah, it's just like
Oh, yeah,
this
exactly.
guy spent the whole trip trying to steal your lady, and all you want to do is be a provider. You know?
Good point.
You're trying to be the good solid guy. You know?
you're like showering her with gifts and all kinds of stuff.
Preach,
This guy,
Menace, preach.
and this guy is
Takes
just
her in
trying
the
to
back of the
creep
Studebaker.
on in, dude. That's what the internet's saying.
It is, there was room on that door for 3 of us. And,
That is so funny how people will like sit there and debate that just
Yeah.
exhaustively. And it's
Yeah.
like, dude, okay, yes, it is a real event that had like the Titanic really did happen, but like this whole thing with the door and everything, like that's the Hollywood part. And they're getting the Mythbuster guys
Oh, yeah.
involved in that, and people are still like all these years later. That was what, 97?
yeah.
Yeah.
That came out.
But
It
he's
was
getting
for-
your lady naked and stuff and
Yeah,
drawing
right.
pictures
Like,
of
look
her.
at me, I'm an
Like,
artist.
You're the victim.
And he's
you
the
are the
good guy?
victim. Yeah. Billy Zane is
Titanic,
here.
Cobra Kai. I kind of like
He's got a new movie out. It's called Waltzing with Brando. Now, Marlon Brando, of course, the Godfather. Why Marlon Brando? See, my only frame of reference on Marlon Brando, I'm going to be 49 here this year. It's just really Godfather, right? So, like, I know him as the Godfather, but like as a person, like why Marlon Brando? What makes him? If people who are not really familiar with him outside of like that one role, like what is so like
Captivating about
captivating to do a
was
whole
kind of a
movie
weirdo,
about?
right?
And you play Marlon Brando, and if you watch the trailer, we'll
Oh
post
my
the trailer
So good.
on our social media, and
I
you
thought
got to
was
see it.
Fake.
Yeah, you wouldn't know
would
it
think it
wasn't
was Marlon Brando.
I mean,
Yeah.
Billy, you look just like Marlon Brando.
Thank you. The makeup and hair department were shortlisted for an Oscar, and it was like they're pretty incredible. I have
Yeah.
to say. Well, it's a very good question, and it's why we made the film because most people's knowledge seems to extend
Limited.
to,
It's limited.
for the most part. Yeah. What I always heard about his kind of groundbreaking work in being ostensibly the first Hollywood activist, right? Like no one walked the walk or really put their life and job on the line the way he did for civil rights. Marched, with King before his murder, after, gave a bunch of his money to his foundation for indigenous rights. That episode with the Oscars was
Yep.
to draw attention. This focuses on a 5-year period in Tahiti after he, told Hollywood to piss off and kind of wanted to disappear and just chill out. And he had it in his mind to build the first sustainable zero carbon footprint compound in Tahiti. Like the foresight of this man is just insane. And
So it's all true story.
it's all true stories, and it's like a comedy. It's like a buddy movie.
comedy.
It's such a disarming and refreshing reclaiming of a legacy that was later befell by a lot of tragedy and a lot of. You told him, you said it. It was Greg said it. He was like he was wacko, right? You hear these stories,
Very weird.
and but that weirdness beneath it was curiosity and commitment and a passion for humanity. He was good at humanity.
So we were watching, the trailer,
Looks fantastic.
and it's interesting because he had all these different people. You're talking about building, this, being able to live on this island.
Yeah.
Right.
Sustainably.
This sustainably in 69, you said. But like, were these his ideas, or did he bring people in? Like, oh, how are we going to get electricity? Because they're yeah. So like, was he the one responsible for figuring out? All right, how are we going to do?
All the infrastructure,
water.
Yeah.
How does he know that stuff though?
Desalination. He was a curious mind. Now but filled with contradictions. So avid reader, great, tons of annotations in his books and library. Some said he was dyslexic and couldn't read. Some say he'd have people read things to him. Yet he was voracious in his curiosity.
Like, how rich was he?
At the time was the highest paid actor, and again that was held against him. Every good deed,
No, because I'm just wondering.
when punished.
Because it takes a lot of money to do. I mean, it takes a lot of money to do pretty much anything.
He was hemorrhaging.
Okay, but like
doing the R&D
to try to get like something together, develop a thing, a technology, a desalination, or whatever to
electricity,
to be able to pull this off.
eels.
Was it his own money? Was it did he have funder, like people like funding the project, or was it just like his own eccentricity, I guess, in a way, like fueling this and just throwing everything he had at it?
No, you're quite right. It was his own money, and he was going broke doing the R&D, and his accountant, lovingly played by Richard Dreyfuss, is like, "You're broke. Do the gangster picture." It's like the gangster picture. It's like, oh, here's all right, fine. There's another Oscar.
So to prepare for it, did you just spend days and days and days and weeks watching all his stuff?
No,
and imitating it?
no.
You didn't?
I didn't.
Then how did you come up with the final product, which is a dead ringer for him? And
true.
You sound like him, you look like him, you act like him.
I grew up like every actor. You grew up watching, this was the bar, I mean, every actor, studied Brando or watched him. So yes, but not with this objective. And when the time came to play him, I approached it completely counterintuitively. I couldn't approach it like a fan or even an actor, if you know what I'm talking about. I had to approach it like him. It couldn't be other. I didn't read a
Like method
biography.
kind of thing?
Not at all. I mean, I know that, and I don't think he was necessarily method. Stella Adler even said, I believe, that he walked in with it, and he would have been that good regardless.
Because I think a lot of people, when they think about Brando, it's almost like a caricature, right? Like, because they have that frame of reference. It's like the Godfather, Brando, and so like everybody does the same.
The cotton balls in his mouth.
Yeah. So they get like he plays these roles, but as far as like Brando as a person to be able to capture, that's different to try to like
See, I'm older than you, so I remember the Island of Dr. Moreau, which kind of I'm wondering if that is why he was into Tahiti, maybe because I don't know which came first.
He bought the island after Mutiny on the Bounty.
Oh.
So in the 60s. So he'd been there for quite a while.
Oh,
and how much does an island cost in 1969?
69?
What does it go for?
1969.
Like what can you get a good island for?
You get a deal on it.
Because I know what the island prices are these days. And they're,
Can't do it today.
Yeah.
So to close and answer the rest of your question, it was a counterintuitive approach where I had to ask the question, how would Marlon play it? And the answer was to not really give a damn.
Really?
Yeah, like to approach it loose and cool, which is why I think he was more of a Meisner-esque improvisationalist, and the which means Meisner was another teacher who had a slightly different departure from Stanislavski and the method and repetition and look for the beautiful accidents, which I do. I like improv. I like keeping it loose.
All right, so I got the end. Marlon Brando purchased his private island about 30 miles north of Tahiti in 1967, and reports are that he paid $200,000.
I'll take one.
Now, of course, you're thinking about it like in today's dollars, like $200,000.
Insane amount.
That's not even a down payment in Los Angeles on a house.
It might be like $1 trillion.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick though,
What is that in today's dollars? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so playing somebody else is one thing, but I've seen many movies, as everybody has, when an actor does a cameo as themselves.
Yeah.
Do you think that would be more difficult to play Billy Zane as Billy Zane?
Having done it,
Or
like 3 times,
But a lot of
it's kind of not
right.
really.
But I mean,
kind of easy.
a lot of actors say playing themselves is actually kind of difficult.
Or you just say camera on.
Yeah, right.
Kind of enjoy it. I get more love for being myself for 30 seconds than all this character work. So it's kind of a weird one.
Yeah. $25 would be $2 million.
Okay.
If adjusted for inflation.
Not
something like
too
that.
crazy.
Doable for a lot
for
of
an
people.
island, but then you got to do all the plumbing and you
Yeah,
got
the
to do
infrastructure.
water. You got to do all the
Just the
stuff.
land.
Yeah. We got Billy Zane here. Waltzing with Brando is the name of the movie. Again, we'll have the trailer posted for you on our social media. You can check it out there. So Billy, question. I want Greg to pull up a couple pictures of his paintings. Pull up your paintings, Greg.
Okay, all right.
Because
my painting.
Because Billy is a
embarrassing.
painter.
Yeah.
You're a painter. This is just
I want to see Greg's painting.
Let's
Yeah.
see, where do I?
yeah.
have
Now
this?
you've done you've had your own kind of like exhibitions
I have.
or what? Okay, so this is
Let me find this.
he knows what he's talking about here, Greg.
No, I know, and this is
professional.
going to be embarrassing for
Oh,
me because
no.
mine is a mess.
I
No, so
started
Greg tried
while
just
Greg
painting
is
here recently.
scrolling and searching for his.
Yeah. Now we want your honest
Artwork.
opinion.
Yeah.
Please feel free to be brutally mean if it's because as we always say, bullying seems to work.
Yeah.
And do you prefer abstract art?
I do.
Me too.
It's
I love
improvisation. You're an abstract expression.
Yeah, I mean, I dabble.
Yeah.
But it's what I'm drawn to.
Now, when you go to the Louvre, do you say, you know what? Not a lot of people had access to paint back then, and some of the stuff I could probably do.
No.
No?
When I go to the Louvre, I like looking at the painting next to the Mona Lisa, which
Yeah.
is so humorously curated.
Yeah.
Because it's a really petulant kind of duke or noble, because no one's in front of it.
Yeah.
No one's looking at it. So they pick the painting that's got his arms crossed and he's looking at you like, really?
Oh, that's funny.
It's really funny.
Yeah.
But no, I started painting on set of Titanic in Mexico. We were in.
Inspired by Leo.
Yeah.
Drawing
How did
pictures,
you know?
Drawing
I could
pictures
do
of your
better
woman.
than that.
Got him to think.
And while you're looking for that, how long did you spend on the island filming?
We were there about a month and a half.
And was it heaven?
It's heaven. I highly recommend. Tahiti's incredible. This is a love letter to Brando, and it's a love letter to Tahiti and the Tahitian people, and you understand why he went there.
All right, there's
There
one
I
of the
found a
paintings.
picture
he
of my
finally
piece
found
of
it.
Hold
garbage.
the phone.
I thought for a minute that he was intentionally killing time.
No,
so that
I realized
he's
I
not
find
fine to
him.
go. I can't find it.
I
All right.
realized I deleted it, but I had sent it to my mom, so I
Okay.
found it in there, and it's
right.
garbage, and I'm embarrassed.
This is really good. It's balanced. It's all about diagonals, right? It's
Right.
what
That's
your,
what I
your
keep
eye
telling him.
catches.
Right.
I tell
How
you,
many
Woody.
times
right,
has Woody
dude.
said
You
that?
gotta listen to Woody. He's a
please.
cool dude, and he
Yeah.
understands.
So it's balanced, and it has some diagonal, and that makes it good.
Yeah, I'd send this to the FX network as their new logo.
Oh,
We've
heard that.
I have heard that, and that was completely unintentional.
It's really interesting.
Yeah,
That's
No,
something.
thank you, Billy.
we've heard that.
No, it's beautiful.
Like on a scale 1 to 10, what would you give it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Good
a
5,
No, man.
4.
Hard 3.
No,
Wait.
that's a 9.
No,
Wow.
Really great.
Yeah, suck it, you guys.
That's good. No,
Move, here we
those
come.
Thank you,
instincts are great.
Thank you.
It's quiet where it needs to be. It's noisy where it needs
Thank
to be.
you.
Yeah. All right. I always like to ask people. So you talk about growing up wanting to be an actor. Was that always the goal, acting, or did you start as something else? You wanted to be, I don't know, baseball player or something else. And then it kind of developed into acting.
My family were on stage. My parents were actors in
Oh, okay.
Chicago, and my sister. It was in the DNA.
In the
so
blood.
we were raised on classic cinema and early MGM, and so it was definitely. I had the capacity for it.
And you had the support of your parents.
I had the support of the parents.
Yeah. Now, did you think in your mind, if this doesn't work out, this is what I'll do? Did you have a backup plan?
No,
No? Just never?
I knew. It was weird. Because it was a means to an end, I understood that early on, and I attribute any success to being of service and overshooting the objective. If you're an actor and you want to be an actor because you want to be famous for fame's sake, or whatever your perception of making money is, or get an Oscar. If that's the goal, trust me, the goalpost will move a lot farther when you arrive at whatever you think that is. I'm just blessed to have been doing this damn job since Back to the Future.
Yeah.
The hell does that happen?
I know, right? So cool.
It's a gift. It's just
Yeah.
every day I feel blessed to do.
Do you
it.
have anything from that? Did you get to keep anything?
No, just memories and stories. I was glad I fit into the same wardrobe in Back to the Future 2, which was
Right. Yeah.
some 10
Yeah, but
years
never
later.
a backup plan. It was just never a backup plan. If this doesn't work out, I'm going to be a rocket scientist,
Right.
or do something in science.
I figured it would reveal itself, like most things. I like opacity. I like the mystery. I'm and as long as you hold that No,
I understand
that thread. It'll show up.
I mean, once I got into radio, I always wanted to be on the radio. I just thought radio was interesting. I wanted to know how it worked, kind of the thing. It wasn't about like meeting bands or anything to do with the music necessarily. It was just how does this work? How do these things happen? And then once I started getting into it, I'm like, oh man, this is a really like kind of finicky, much like acting and it's a finicky industry, right? People, not a lot of security. So I'm like, well, what else could I do? And that's when I kind of thought, oh, maybe I can be an air traffic controller. That was going to be like, but I never, thank God, never needed to fall back on that. But if you go into something, I think like a bull, and you just plow forward and keep moving ahead, and you don't have like some kind of set expectation, you can make a lot of stuff happen because you're open, like you mentioned, the other opportunities, there's other things, other people, interesting people, and things that you got to experience, or people you got to meet. And you can start moving in those areas that maybe you didn't even think about at first. It started here, but now it's a, I hate to use the word, it sounds so cheesy, journey, right?
Well, yeah, but it's like you said, because now you have something to leverage.
Right.
And it's very cool.
And rather than a backup plan, let's just call it a parallel track.
What was your first gig that you had, like your first, like what you would consider your first like good paycheck? Because nobody starts there. Nobody starts with the
Back to the Future. I mean,
Really?
the deal was with the folks. I was like, look,
first movie's Back to the Future. I was be the first big paycheck.
The jump.
I mean,
from
big by comparison,
Yeah,
right?
no,
and
yeah.
it was about the time, because again, it then doubled down, right?
Yeah.
So
Sure,
trust me,
yeah.
I was making scale. We were paid the least on the show,
Sure.
but over, because it was a big studio movie, they shot it over many weeks, many
Right.
months,
Yeah.
and then
Steady
we did
work.
it again.
Yeah.
And the deal with the folks was, I was about to, I think, go to Cal Arts at that time. I was going to go to film school. And I said, listen, let me take a crack at this, because at that time, you got to realize there was no desktop anything. It was a guild system. You had to work your way up from the mailroom.
Right.
You want to be in the music business,
Yep.
you trained. You want to be in the film business, you're hauling cable, or you're in the mailroom,
Right.
and you work your way up to. You couldn't make a movie on your phone or
Right.
computer. So there was no prodigy of note at that time. What's an 18-year-old going to do? Well, I wanted to learn about filmmaking at that time. 1984. It was nothing but teen movies. So it was the time to be an actor. It was in the 80s
The
as
screwball
a teenager.
comedies.
all that stuff,
Yeah.
John Hughes stuff. So it made sense to be an actor at that time, to get in that little grid square and learn how they're shooting it, how the directors work, how the producers work. And I learned about film from that. 2 weeks later, I get a job, and I said, I'm good. I got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they didn't have to pay for a damn thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I called them 4 months later,
Yeah.
of course. I was like,
Yeah. Is that where you felt like you made it?
no.
Like, do you ever get to the point like, okay, I made it, now I'm going to be able to do the whatever it is, get the car that you've always wanted, or just something. It doesn't even have to be like a high dollar thing, but it was just something of significance. For Menace, it was buying a KitchenAid stand mixer.
Yeah.
Like that to him was like something that like, hey, you know what? All these people that I think have made it and have, really, they all have this stupid KitchenAid stand mixer. It's what, $300?
Yep.
And that was his Ferrari, so to speak.
Yeah.
Was there that one thing that you
I just think we got to roll with Gina. What's yours?
Well, I bought a painting at Disneyland. And it was a whole thing. It had to be carried back on the tram to the parking garage.
Yeah.
But I saw it and I had to have it.
was it one of those animation cells that they
No.
sell like from one of the films?
But it came framed, and it's Walt and Mickey on Buena Vista Street, and it was like Storytellers was the thing, and I just was like, I have to have this,
Yeah.
and I bought it, and I
couldn't be denied.
Yeah,
No.
I had to have it.
Awesome. Do you still have it?
I do, yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my God, I love
And
it.
you have your mixer?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
Good
Yeah.
stuff. Greg?
A pair of shoes that I bought when I made full time. They're long gone, but they were $300, and my salary, and I've told Woody this 1,000 times, was $20,500 per year, and I ran out and bought a $300 pair of shoes. I wouldn't do that today.
Right.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But I thought I made
Yeah.
it.
Still got them?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Instant pot, pressure cooker.
That was it?
Yeah.
That's
Instant pot.
relatively new.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
Are
these
you serious?
appliances. I like
10
these
years ago,
appliances.
yeah.
Are you serious? Wow. Damn.
Yeah.
What was yours again?
It's in the last decade.
Mine was actually more of like something I always wanted, because we went back to Disney. We went to Disney when we were 8. And that was the one time that we went as kids. And then so like I went to Disney for like a handful of days. But I flew myself down there. Wasn't driving. I was like, I'm going to fly down there. I'm going to stay at one of the resorts on site. And I did that.
Treat
And,
yourself.
Yeah, I actually had a friend who was working for a record label that was owned by Disney at the time, so he hooked me up with the tickets and the passes.
If you can get
but
here.
I
Yeah,
flew
just
myself
go.
down there and I put myself up, and I was psyched.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good spot.
I was psyched. So you didn't say what was yours?
Treating a bunch of friends to like a trip and an overnight. You know, just taking out.
Yeah.
God, I
you
knew
know?
he was
That's
better
great.
than us.
No,
much better.
No,
than us.
no,
Yeah.
but
It's always the best.
I'm
though.
hedging because I was going to go a Rolex, you know, which just sounds really cheesy. So I was like, quick,
I'm a watch
humanize
guy.
this.
I'm a
I
watch
took
guy. I
some
would
folks to
appreciate
dinner.
that.
Yeah, that's it.
I made
Outback
this
Steakhouse.
donation.
Happy
I made this
meals for
donation to an orphanage.
Remember your audience, Zane. Remember your audience.
Well, Billy Zane, Waltzing with Brando is the movie. He plays Marlon Brando. It's a real, I mean, you watch the
looks
trailer
great.
and you can see you're
Incredible.
like, man, like, and for a guy, like I knew Marlon Brando as the Godfather.
Right.
And that's, you know, that's pretty much the frame. And obviously I knew he's a big famous actor, but as far as like as a person and all these other crazy things that he was doing, the trailer's awesome. It's posted on our social media if you want to check it out. There at The Woody Show. Billy Zane, thank you so much, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you, friends. What a
Hanging out.
pleasure.
It is The Woody Show. We will be right back.